Have you ever felt the weight of the world pressing down on your heart, wondering why some people seem to succeed effortlessly while you remain stuck in the same place? Perhaps you've questioned whether your efforts even matter, or if you're destined to fall short no matter how hard you try. In these moments of doubt, do you feel the ache of wanting more and more purpose, more fulfillment, more out of life, but somehow always falling just a bit short? What separates the successful from the rest isn't luck, talent, or even opportunity. The true difference lies in consistency, the ability to show up every single day, putting in the work when it feels meaningless, tedious, or even painful. As Lewis wisely observed, the future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour. Whatever he does, whoever he is, it's not the grand, sweeping gestures that change the course of our lives, but the small, deliberate actions taken day by day. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to becoming the person we were meant to be. You may be battling inner demons, fear of failure, fear of judgment, or the painful memories of past mistakes that still haunt you. The obstacles you face may seem insurmountable, and the path ahead might feel endless and overwhelming. But it is in these dark moments, when everything inside you is screaming to quit, that consistency becomes your greatest ally. Showing up when it's hard, pushing through when you feel broken, is where the transformation happens. As Lewis suggests, we are what we believe we are. If you believe you are capable of achieving your dreams, no matter how impossible they may seem, then consistency becomes the bridge between the person you are and the person you want to be. But let's dig deeper. Have you ever noticed how your inner struggles, those private battles that no one else sees, often shape the course of your life? You yearn for success, not just for the external validation, but because deep inside, you want to prove that you are worthy, capable, and strong. Yet, life constantly places obstacles in your way, whispering doubts into your ear, telling you that you're not enough. Maybe it's a fear of rejection, or the lingering voice of someone from your past telling you you'll never make it. Or perhaps it's the crushing weight of responsibilities that leaves you feeling like you can never catch up, never get ahead. Consistency, however, is what breaks these chains. It's the choice to keep moving forward, even when every part of you is tempted to give up. Think of the times when you've made progress. Were those not the moments when you decided to act, even in the face of fear? Consistency doesn't eliminate pain, doubt, or fear, but it transforms them. It takes those very things that threaten to hold you back and uses them as fuel to propel you forward. As C.S. Lewis said, pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. In your pain and struggle lies the voice of God, urging you to not give up, but to persist, because what lies on the other side of your consistency is something far greater than the temporary relief of giving in. You might be longing for a breakthrough, for that moment when everything clicks and you feel the weight lift from your shoulders. But the truth is, breakthroughs come not in a single moment, but in the quiet, consistent work of each day. As you chip away at your goals, little by little, you'll find that change begins to unfold. It may not be obvious at first, but with each step, you're moving closer to becoming the person God has called you to be. The true magic, the transformation, lies in those moments when you press on despite the odds. So, I ask you, what is it that you truly desire? What pain have you been carrying silently, and what would it mean for you to finally overcome it? Consistency is the key to unlocking not just your dreams, but your healing. It is through the act of showing up for yourself every single day that you begin to rewrite the narrative of your life. You have the power to change your story, to rise above the circumstances that have held you back, and to create a life that reflects the deepest desires of your heart. But it requires you to stay the course, to keep showing up, especially when it feels impossible. As you read this, I invite you to stay with me on this journey. You are not alone in your struggles, your doubts, or your dreams. There is hope, and there is power in consistency. Keep listening, keep reflecting, and let's continue to explore how the simple act of showing up, day after day, can unlock your true potential and transform your life in ways you never imagined. Before we move on to the next message, I encourage you to share your thoughts. What resonated with you? What part of this journey speaks to the place where you are right now? Comment below, and let's continue this conversation. Together, we can break through the barriers of self-doubt and fear, and with God's guidance, we will discover the extraordinary within the ordinary. Stay with me, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Can I get a shout of praise from you? Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? These words from C.S. Lewis remind us that transformation doesn't come in sweeping moments but in the slow, steady accumulation of our daily actions. How often do we fall into the trap of seeking quick results, only to feel frustrated when change doesn't happen overnight? Have you ever wondered why progress seems so elusive, even when you desperately want to see it in your life? Perhaps the real question is, are we truly committed to the long, hard road of growth? If you desire change, whether in your body, career, or any area of life, it won't come from a one-time effort or a burst of enthusiasm. Just as you can't expect to get in shape after one gym session, meaningful growth comes from the daily grind, the consistent, almost monotonous choices that build upon one another. Lewis himself knew this truth well. The future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour. Whatever he does, whoever he is, in other words, time is moving forward regardless of our actions, but only the consistent ones make those minutes count. But let's take a moment to go deeper. Have you felt the quiet pain of wanting to change but feeling stuck? Maybe it's not the big dreams you're struggling with, but the little moments where you choose comfort over growth. When you hit the snooze button instead of getting up early to start your day right, or when you skip a small daily practice because it won't make a difference today yet. As Lewis teaches, it's not the grand gestures that define our lives, but the tiny habits we create, day by day. These small decisions, choosing to make your bed when you're rushing, picking the healthy option when you're craving indulgence, are what ultimately define who you become. The small acts of discipline that feel insignificant in the moment are what truly shape us. It's not about mastering life in big strides, but about mastering the art of small, consistent actions. These habits compound over time, building our character, shaping our mindset, and determining our destiny. You may not see the results immediately, but like a seed planted in the soil, growth is happening beneath the surface. And here's the hard truth: it's in these small moments that we either move toward the person we were meant to become or drift away from that vision. But let's be honest, consistency is hard. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and the willingness to push through moments of discomfort. How many times have you wanted to give up? How often has the comfort of the couch, the ease of avoiding effort, tempted you to let go of your goals? This is where the real battle lies, in those quiet moments when no one is watching, when it feels easier to quit than to continue. Lewis spoke of this struggle with human nature. We are not necessarily doubting that God will do the best for us. We are wondering how painful the best will turn out to be. Consistency can be painful, but that very discomfort is the fire that refines us. So, what will you do the next time the path feels too long, too hard? Will you give in to the momentary comfort, or will you dig deep, remembering why you started this journey in the first place? The choice is always yours. You see, mastering consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up imperfectly, but persistently. It's about finding the strength to keep going, even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. In the end, it's not the grand moments that define our success, but the small, everyday victories. The discipline of daily effort leads to mastery. Mastery over your habits, mastery over your desires, and ultimately mastery over your destiny. Are you willing to take the small steps today, knowing that they will lead to something far greater tomorrow? Failures, repeated failures, are finger posts on the road to achievement. One fails forward toward success. C.S. Lewis captures the essence of growth through adversity. But what drives you? Is it the desire to create a better future for your loved ones? Perhaps it's the realization that your talents and passions have the power to change lives. Or maybe it's the deep dissatisfaction with a life of mediocrity, pushing you to strive for something more meaningful. Have you ever felt that yearning deep inside? An aching sense that you're meant for more but constantly held back by fear, doubt, or circumstance? Whatever your motivation, it's crucial to hold on to it, especially when the journey feels overwhelming. Life has a way of testing our resolve, placing obstacles in our path that make it easy to feel discouraged. But as Lewis reminds us, success isn't the absence of failure, it's moving forward despite it. The key to consistency isn't about being perfect. In fact, perfection is an illusion. How often have you found yourself paralyzed by the thought of making a mistake? And yet, the reality is that you will stumble, you will face setbacks. But it is in these moments that your strength is truly tested. The beauty of consistency lies not in achieving flawless progress, but in your ability to stand back up when you fall. Each failure, each moment of doubt, is not a dead end, it's a stepping stone toward your ultimate purpose. Every day brings a new chance to begin again, to recommit to the dreams and goals that stir your soul. Isn't it comforting to know that you don't have to get everything right immediately? That even when life knocks you down, you have the choice to rise, dust yourself off, and continue the journey. It's the act of rising again that defines your character, not the fall itself. But how do you nurture this resilience? How do you stay consistent when life's challenges feel insurmountable? It begins with intention. What do you truly want out of life? What is that burning desire that keeps you up at night? The vision of who you want to become or the impact you want to make. Start by defining this clearly in your heart. Then, as Lewis so beautifully expressed, isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different. The daily grind, the small choices, and the small sacrifices, they add up, slowly transforming your life. Once your vision is clear, break it down. Set smaller, manageable steps toward your goal. Don't overwhelm yourself by thinking about the mountain in front of you. Focus on the next step. The mountain will still be there, but each small action brings you closer to the summit. Consistency is not about giant leaps, but about daily, intentional steps toward your purpose. But here's the real question: how do you keep going when the road gets hard, when the initial excitement fades and you feel stuck? This is where your why becomes your anchor. Why did you start this journey? Is it to give your family the life they deserve? To share your message or talent with the world? Or perhaps to break free from mediocrity and embrace the fullness of life that God has designed for you? Whatever it is, let that reason fuel your steps forward. Lewis understood the pain of longing, the ache for something greater, and how it shapes our lives. He once wrote, "If I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world." Perhaps your journey is not just about worldly success, but about something deeper, a calling, a divine purpose. Hold fast to that truth and let it guide you through the darkest days. In the end, consistency is not a rigid demand for perfection, but a compassionate process of growth, rooted in the understanding that every day is a fresh opportunity. So take that next step, however small it may seem. Your dreams are waiting for you on the other side of your persistence. Keep going. You're closer than you think. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. These words from C.S. Lewis hold a deep truth. In life, we can't erase our past mistakes or moments where we fell short, but we can choose to show up today. Have you ever wondered why it sometimes feels so difficult to move forward, even though you know the steps you need to take? Do you find yourself caught in the gap between wanting more and the fear of not being able to reach it? The real challenge is not just knowing what to do, but finding the strength to show up consistently, whether it's writing 500 words of your novel each morning before work or doing 10 minutes of yoga before bed. Maybe it's making that phone call to a potential client, even when rejection feels like a looming possibility. The specific task doesn't matter as much as the quiet decision to keep moving forward, day after day, even when it feels like no progress is being made. Consistency, as Lewis might argue, is about walking every day in a resolute direction. Even when no milestone is in sight, that's where real growth takes root, not in the grand gestures, but in the small, persistent actions. But let's be real. Have you ever felt like you're grinding in isolation, as if your efforts go unnoticed and the road ahead stretches endlessly? There are days when you might feel that the weight of it all is too much. It's in these moments that the world around you, your community, plays a crucial role. As C.S. Lewis reminds us, we are made for connection. Friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who support your journey can be a lifeline. A strong community can remind you that you're not alone in your struggle or your aspirations. These people push you, hold you accountable, and sometimes they see potential in you that you can't see in yourself. Consider this: have you ever faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable at first, only to find that, with the support of others, it suddenly felt doable? When you align yourself with a tribe of people who share your values and goals, something incredible happens. You gain strength not only from within but from the energy and encouragement of others. Together, you're able to face obstacles that once seemed overwhelming, and you begin to see possibilities that you had previously dismissed. However, even with a strong support system, there will be days when you want to quit. Have you ever felt that? The road feels too long, the dream too far away, and the exhaustion too deep. That's when you need to reconnect with your why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? Was it to provide a better life for your family? To fulfill a dream that has long been burning in your heart? Or maybe, deep down, it's because you want to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever believed. When everything feels like too much, cling to that vision. Let it be the light that pulls you through the darkest moments. C.S. Lewis reminds us, the darkest hour is just before the dawn. Each small, seemingly insignificant step forward is bringing you closer to that vision, even if you can't see it yet. Here's the truth: success isn't a one-time event. It's not a stroke of luck or a sudden breakthrough. It's the culmination of countless small choices, repeated every day, even when it feels like you're walking in the dark. Every habit, every action, every moment of discipline adds up over time. The world may not notice each step you take, but the impact accumulates, shaping your future. It's the muscle of consistency, strengthened through daily practice, that makes all the difference. But here's the beautiful thing: anyone can develop this muscle. It doesn't matter where you come from, what obstacles you've faced, or how many times you've failed before. C.S. Lewis himself reminds us that failures, repeated failures, are fingerposts on the road to achievement. Consistency is a choice that you can make each day, and it is within your power to strengthen it through practice and dedication. Your past does not define you, but your present choices will shape your future. So, as you stand at this crossroads, ask yourself, will you choose to keep showing up, even when the road is difficult? Will you push beyond the fear, the doubt, and the pain to create the life you've always envisioned? The decision is yours, and it's one you can make today, knowing that every small step, every act of consistency, is bringing you closer to the person you were meant to become. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. These words from C.S. Lewis hold a deep truth. In life, we can't erase our past mistakes or moments where we fell short, but we can choose to show up today. Have you ever wondered why it sometimes feels so difficult to move forward, even though you know the steps you need to take? Do you find yourself caught in the gap between wanting more and the fear of not being able to reach it? The real challenge is not just knowing what to do, but finding the strength to show up consistently, whether it's writing 500 words of your novel each morning before work or doing 10 minutes of yoga before bed. Maybe it's making that phone call to a potential client, even when rejection feels like a looming possibility. The specific task doesn't matter as much as the quiet decision to keep moving forward, day after day, even when it feels like no progress is being made. Consistency, as Lewis might argue, is about walking every day in a resolute direction. Even when no milestone is in sight, that's where real growth takes root, not in the grand gestures, but in the small, persistent actions. But let's be real. Have you ever felt like you're grinding in isolation, as if your efforts go unnoticed and the road ahead stretches endlessly. There are days when you might feel that the weight of it all is too much. It's in these moments that the world around you, your community, plays a crucial role. As C.S. Lewis reminds us, we are made for connection. Friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who support your journey can be a lifeline. A strong community can remind you that you're not alone in your struggle or your aspirations. These people push you, hold you accountable, and sometimes they see potential in you that you can't see in yourself. Consider this: have you ever faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable at first, only to find that, with the support of others, it suddenly felt doable? When you align yourself with a tribe of people who share your values and goals, something incredible happens. You gain strength, not only from within, but from the energy and encouragement of others. Together, you're able to face obstacles that once seemed overwhelming, and you begin to see possibilities that you had previously dismissed. However, even with a strong support system, there will be days when you want to quit. Have you ever felt that? The road feels too long, the dream too far away, and the exhaustion too deep. That's when you need to reconnect with your why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? Was it to provide a better life for your family? To fulfill a dream that has long been burning in your heart? Or maybe, deep down, it's because you want to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever believed. When everything feels like too much, cling to that vision. Let it be the light that pulls you through the darkest moments. C.S. Lewis reminds us, the darkest hour is just before the dawn. Each small, seemingly insignificant step forward is bringing you closer to that vision, even if you can't see it yet. Here's the truth: success isn't a one-time event. It's not a stroke of luck or a sudden breakthrough. It's the culmination of countless small choices, repeated every day, even when it feels like you're walking in the dark. Every habit, every action, every moment of discipline adds up over time. The world may not notice each step you take, but the impact accumulates, shaping your future. It's the muscle of consistency, strengthened through daily practice, that makes all the difference. But here's the beautiful thing: anyone can develop this muscle. It doesn't matter where you come from, what obstacles you've faced, or how many times you've failed before. C.S. Lewis himself reminds us that failures, repeated failures, are fingerposts on the road to achievement. Consistency is a choice that you can make each day, and it is within your power to strengthen it through practice and dedication. Your past does not define you, but your present choices will shape your future. We are not necessarily doubting that God will do the best for us. We are wondering how painful the best will turn out to be. C.S. Lewis once wrote these words, tapping into a profound truth about the journey of personal growth and perseverance. Have you ever wondered why the path toward your dreams feels so difficult, almost as if the very thing you desire most is being blocked by constant trials? Does it ever feel like each step forward comes with setbacks that make you question if it's worth the fight? Life's most transformative journeys are often the hardest, but perhaps the real question is, what if the struggle is a necessary part of the story? C.S. Lewis knew well that the road to fulfillment and purpose is not paved with ease, but with consistent, sometimes painful, effort. He believed that through these struggles, we discover our deeper strength, our hidden reservoirs of potential that would have remained untapped without the obstacles in our path. Hardships, Lewis said, often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. So while it may not be easy, while the road may be filled with setbacks and challenges, the process itself is shaping you into someone stronger, more resilient, and ultimately more prepared to live a purposeful life. Have you ever found yourself looking back on past struggles and realizing how they shaped you? Maybe there were moments where you thought you'd never make it through, but now, when you reflect on them, you see how much you've grown. This is the beauty of consistency. It's the key to unlocking your full potential because it teaches you to persevere when everything inside you wants to quit. When you remain committed, even in the face of doubt, even when the road seems endless, you begin to witness a transformation that goes beyond external success. You start to understand that true fulfillment is found in the person you become through the process. The question, then, isn't whether challenges will come, they will. The real question is, how will you respond? Will you let the weight of the obstacles defeat you, or will you use them to grow? It's in showing up, putting in the work, and refusing to give up, even when it's hard, that you build the life you long for. Think of the small daily actions, those quiet, often unseen moments when you choose to persevere. They may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they are the very foundation upon which greatness is built. C.S. Lewis once said, "Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different?" This speaks to the power of consistency, how daily actions, no matter how small, compound into massive results over time. Success, fulfillment, purpose, these aren't one-time events or strokes of luck. They are the culmination of countless small decisions to keep going, to keep striving, to keep believing in what's possible, even when it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But perhaps the hardest part is this: do you truly believe in yourself? Not just in your dreams, but in your ability to change, to grow, to become someone who can handle the weight of your ambitions. What often holds us back is not the external challenges, but the internal doubts that whisper we're not enough. Yet, Lewis reminds us that you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. The journey to greatness begins with belief in your ability to keep showing up, even on the hardest days. So today, as you stand on the edge of your next step, ask yourself, what will I choose? Will I give in to the doubts, or will I embrace the power of consistency? Will I let fear dictate my path, or will I trust that God is working in every small effort, every moment of perseverance, to shape me into the person I was meant to be? The decision is yours, and every small action you take today will echo into the future. Believe that you are capable of greatness, even when the journey feels long. Show up, put in the work, trust the process, and most of all, never give up. The life you dream of is waiting on the other side of your consistent commitment. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? C.S. Lewis's words resonate deeply when we think about the power of consistency. How often have you looked back at your life, wishing you had stuck with something, a goal, a dream, or even a habit, only to realize that it was in the daily, seemingly insignificant choices where the real transformation lay? Have you ever felt the pain of wanting more out of life but not knowing where to start? Maybe you've longed for progress, for growth, but found yourself trapped in cycles of inconsistency, unsure of how to break free. The truth is, when you make consistency a non-negotiable part of your life, the limits of what you can achieve become boundless. Lewis understood this well, writing about the small steps of faith that shape our character. In those daily acts of discipline, where no applause is heard and no immediate reward is seen, you begin to forge a new path for yourself. What if the key to becoming unstoppable was hidden in the simple act of showing up? What if the strength you've been searching for could be found in pushing through the moments when you feel like giving up? So, here's a question for your heart. Where in your life have you felt the deepest longing for change? Is it in your health, where you've battled the same habits over and over, hoping for a breakthrough? Or is it in your relationships, where connection seems just out of reach and consistency could be the bridge to healing? Maybe it's in your spiritual life, where the desire to grow closer to God has been overshadowed by the distractions of everyday life. Whatever it is, there is a place within you yearning for that transformation. Lewis once said, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." The area of your life where you seek the most change is often the place where God is calling you to show up consistently. It doesn't require massive leaps of faith or drastic overhauls. It begins with a single, intentional action every day, an action that aligns with your values, your vision, and your God-given purpose. Maybe it's as simple as sending a message of gratitude to someone you care about. Or perhaps it's dedicating just 5 minutes a day to prayer or reflection, asking God for guidance and strength to remain steadfast. And as you begin to build that consistency, something remarkable happens. progress starts to unfold in small, subtle ways. You begin to gain momentum, and with each step forward, the path becomes clearer. The challenges that once felt insurmountable no longer seem as daunting. You start to feel stronger, more capable, and more in tune with the person God has called you to be. But don't stop there. When you start to feel that forward motion, don't be afraid to raise the bar. Push yourself a little harder. Challenge yourself to stretch beyond what feels comfortable. C.S. Lewis reminds us, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. The magic lies in those moments when you push past your own limitations, trusting that God is walking with you, strengthening you for bigger dreams and bolder visions. And that's when the real transformation happens, not overnight, but through the steady, daily practice of showing up, of staying committed, and of believing that with God, all things are possible. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. C.S. Lewis. These words invite us to reflect on how we navigate life's obstacles. Have you ever questioned your ability to push through when everything seems to be falling apart? Do you find yourself at the brink of giving up, wondering if your efforts will ever lead to the growth you desire? There's often a deep longing within us to break free from our limitations, but what stands in the way is the overwhelming thought that our past mistakes or setbacks define us. But here's the profound truth: as you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, you'll discover that your potential is far greater than what you ever imagined. The walls you once thought were impossible to scale start to crumble. What once felt like closed doors suddenly reveal pathways to new opportunities. This transformation, however, is not accidental. It is driven by one essential element: consistency. But it's not just about getting better at a task, but about cultivating a mindset that embraces perseverance, resilience, and faith. Lewis once said, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." Are you prepared to embrace the challenges that come your way? Life will inevitably test your resolve with unexpected trials, but consistency allows you to stand firm, even when everything within you wants to retreat. The more you practice this daily discipline, the more you'll notice how it seeps into every area of your life. You'll find that your relationships grow deeper as you become more present. Your health will flourish as you adopt daily habits that honor your body and soul. Your work will carry more meaning and purpose as you steadily progress toward mastery, one small step at a time. But let's be honest, even with all the strides you make, there will be moments when you feel crushed under the weight of doubt, exhaustion, or failure. Have you ever felt like you've given everything and still find yourself questioning whether you'll ever see the fruits of your labor? That's when it's critical to remember that growth doesn't always follow a straight path. Every small effort, even in times of difficulty, is still moving you forward. C.S. Lewis reminds us, failures are fingerposts on the road to achievement. Each setback is not a dead end, but a redirection toward a deeper understanding of yourself and your journey. Think of consistency as planting a seed. The seed does not sprout overnight, nor does the fruit appear immediately, but beneath the soil, invisible to the eye, growth is happening. Roots are deepening, laying a foundation that will one day support something strong, beautiful, and resilient. This is where the real transformation takes place, not in the visible outcome, but in the slow, steady, often unseen progress that builds a foundation over time. Have you been so focused on the outcome that you've forgotten to appreciate the process? When you shift your focus from the result to the journey itself, you'll begin to find joy in the daily rituals, the small victories, and the gradual improvements that add up over time. These are the moments that truly shape who you are becoming, and they remove the pressure of needing everything to happen all at once. And here's where the magic unfolds: as you stay consistent, not only will your life begin to change, but those around you will start to take notice. Have you ever realized that your persistence can be a source of inspiration for others? People will see your unwavering discipline, your steady progress, and they will believe that they, too, can push through their own struggles. Your consistency will create a ripple effect, touching lives far beyond your own. So, how does this connect to your deeper struggles, your unspoken fears, or the inner battles you fight each day? Perhaps you've been carrying the weight of past failures, telling yourself that you're not cut out for success or that your best days are behind you. But remember this, your past doesn't define you. Consistency does. Every day you show up, you are rewriting your story, building a new chapter grounded not in perfection, but in perseverance. Let this be the moment you decide to trust the process, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Let it be the moment you commit to showing up for yourself, to keep pressing forward when it feels hardest. Your consistent efforts, no matter how small, are laying the foundation for an extraordinary future, one that reflects not only your hard work but the person you are becoming through it all. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? C.S. Lewis. Have you ever paused to consider the quiet power of your actions? The little decisions you make each day may seem insignificant, but what if those choices are shaping not only your life but also the lives of those around you? Who in your life might be watching, waiting for someone like you to inspire them to take that leap of faith, to pursue their own dreams? It's easy to forget how powerful our example can be in encouraging others to step out of their comfort zones. Think about this: consistency, even in the smallest of actions, has the potential to create a ripple effect, motivating others to embrace perseverance and positivity in their own journeys. But what holds you back from fully committing to this idea? Perhaps it's fear of failure or the pain of past disappointments that whispers to you, "What if I'm not enough?" These are the moments when faith is tested. Lewis once said, "Failures, repeated failures, are fingerposts on the road to achievement. One fails forward towards success, so what if instead of fearing failure, you saw it as a signpost guiding you closer to your goals?" By staying consistent, not only do you build your own strength, but you also become a beacon of hope for others struggling with their own fears and setbacks. Imagine for a moment what could happen if you raised your standards, stretched beyond the familiar, and pushed yourself toward goals that once felt impossible. The process of consistency isn't just about reaching a destination, it's about transformation. As Lewis described it, we are what we believe we are. If you believe that you can grow, that you can achieve more, that belief will be reflected in your actions. Each step you take compounds over time, leading to growth that is both measurable and deeply personal. When you push through discomfort and challenge yourself, you will begin to realize that the limits you once saw are simply stepping stones to a greater version of yourself. But in this relentless pursuit of growth, have you forgotten to celebrate your victories? How often do you take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come, even if the journey ahead still seems long? We are so quick to dismiss our small wins, but these moments of reflection are essential to fueling our motivation. Lewis reminds us that it is not your business to succeed, but to do right when you have done so. The rest lies with God. So take time to pause, reflect, and give thanks for the progress you've made. This gratitude, this acknowledgement of God's work in your life, will strengthen your resolve to keep moving forward. Consistency is more than just a habit, it is a mindset, a declaration that no matter the obstacles, you will keep showing up for yourself and for the life you are building. Have you considered how powerful that decision truly is? In making consistency your non-negotiable, you choose not to be swayed by life's inevitable ups and downs. Instead, you root yourself in faith that each day, each step, brings you closer to the person God intended you to be. Lewis captured this beautifully when he said, "There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. What if the best version of your life is still ahead, just waiting for you to remain steadfast in your pursuit?" So here's your challenge: make consistency the foundation of your growth. Decide today that no matter what life throws your way, whether it's hardship, distraction, or doubt, you will remain committed. There will be days when progress feels slow, when the weight of your journey feels heavy, but it is in those moments that perseverance truly shines. As you continue forward, not only will you transform your own life, but you'll unknowingly inspire those who have been quietly watching you. The power of consistency is already within you, waiting to be unlocked. Trust in the process, trust in God's timing, and watch as your life shifts in ways you never imagined possible. Every choice, every habit, Every moment of resilience, it all adds up to a life full of purpose, growth, and the kind of fulfillment that can only come from staying the course. Now, take the first step and keep walking.